everybody to the November South Branch Board of Education meeting. Please stand. Start off the pledge.
With allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here. Harry Lauer.
Here.
Amy White.
Here.
Elizabeth Johnson.
Here.
Brian Bagwell.
Here. First item is the approval of the minutes for the regular October meeting as well as the November 16th special meeting. Do you have any corrections or questions? So, I'd entertain a motion to approve those.
A motion.
Terry moves.
Second.
Liz seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Up to Mr. Nero for the financial report forecast.
There'll be a motion later in the agenda to approve the forecast. I was going to highlight some of the information now. As when you look at the property tax numbers, we are at the 2004, so we're going to be paying attention to the reappraisal and the triennial update years. If there's big inflation, that could generate more revenue because when we have 2004, your tax revenues will fluctuate depending on where the valuation goes. The unrestricted and the restricted grants and aids, that's the new funding, that's where the funding formula is located. And they moved, they got mentioned at the last meeting, they moved the open enrollment as part of all kids are funded as residential kids just enrolled in our line. So if you look at the 1.06 line, you'll see that decrease from previous years because that money got moved up to a part of the forecast. It's the net of revenue, so they took the revenue you received with open enrollment and what you got taken away from you and open enrollment out. So it's a net of where you'll see that adjustment. You'll see the corresponding decrease in the expenditure line and also the increase in the revenue line. They should even out as you look at previous years and forecasting forward. And then on the expenditure side, I think the salaries are CPA goes to the end of fiscal year 2024. So after that, we'll have to negotiate. And then the insurance line, the last 2 years, we're part of the OSBC consortium. They actually recommended a 15% increase, but our rep, Connie, negotiated with the OSBC, negotiated down to 12% the last couple of years. So forecasting forward, use that 12% as the baseline forecasting forward. Purchase service supplies and capital outlay lines, like there was been some change with the new funding formula, so those expenses are going down, but going forward, I factored in like timing of invoices. There's a few big invoices that hit 2 fiscal years ago. They hit twice in one fiscal year, and they're now coming in this fiscal year. So you'll see that increase from last year to this year, and then kind of forecasting forward. Just with inflation, I think some increase in expenditures as we go forward. In the capital outlay line, I did factor in replacing a bus starting next year, 1 per year. We have a fleet of 18 buses on our routes right now, 4 spares. We currently have 4 buses waiting to get delivered that we've got grants for, so we don't have that expenditure this fiscal year, but forecasting forward, we do show that expense. Do you guys have any other questions on the forecast? I just want to highlight those areas, and then I think the financials for October. Do you guys have any questions?
Okay. If there's no questions, I'd entertain a motion or a motion to accept the financial report.
So moved.
We've got Amy moves and Shelley
Second.
seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And on to new business.
My report's going to be nice and sweet. I just wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy their break. Hopefully it warms up a little bit. And make sure that you tune in to watch our football team on Friday night. I did put the link on the website. It's $9.99 if you go through the Ohio High School. I'm not sure if YSN is going to do just the audio.
Just audio.
Just the audio again. So that's another option to listen to it that way as well. We'll be in Clyde, Ohio. Thank you to Mr. Rohn and the Spirit Club. They worked tirelessly today to secure 2 more buses so we can take 2 full busloads of students up in our cheering section. Thanks to donations, but I'll let him speak about those.
Evening, everyone. I'll just start with what she was just talking about with, as far as the busing goes. Obviously, everybody knows we're like a 2-hour 20-minute ride. All of the people at Dickey Electric were so kind. Got our football team 2 buses, got our band 2 buses, charter buses. So our kids are going to be going up there, band and football, courtesy, and helping our parents. Dickey Electric, all of the people at Dickey Electric have pitched in to help with those 4 buses. This morning, the kids' Spirit Club started working, reached out. Ann Myers Insurance, Myers Family Insurance, they were wonderful, very, very generous. They absorbed a huge amount of 2 Spirit buses for our student body to go. Right now, I think we're at 60-some kids planning on going. We have seats for 110. If we don't fill them with the high school, we will reach out to 8th grade parents tomorrow morning, like around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll do a 1 call, open the buses up for 8th graders as well to get as many kids that want to go. I know the 8th graders probably are riding with their parents. The big push for the high school was we were worried about them driving themselves, coming back late in the evening, and with just everything that could go wrong, it's just safer for them to be on a bus. So Ann Myers, I said, picked up, or Myers Family Insurance picked up a majority of it. Also had my National Honor Society, my student council, my Spirit Club, high school PTO, and student council, NHS, senior class. So we had 5 different groups pick up the remaining of the portion for the buses. Students are now going to be charged $5 to be able to get on the charter bus, ride up there and back. I think I read 144 miles today. You can't beat $5, okay? And hopefully get there safely. Watch us get a big victory, and then next week, we'll worry about next week when it comes, but it'll be a little bit closer. So good luck to all of our kids that are participating. It's a great thing. Going there the way we're going is first class, just like our district always does things. So good luck to everybody this weekend. Obviously, we're so excited. Okay. I'm also reporting out, we are each reporting out, I think, what we are calling our building level, our building BLT goals and focus areas. So for the high school, we have 3 goals and focus areas. The first one, during the 22-23 school year, the PBIS team will develop a building-wide PBIS plan that reflects and builds upon the elementary and middle school's plan by doing the following: meet 4 times a year, develop and follow our matrix, and involve parents and coaches in the process. PBIS in the high school obviously looks a lot different than PBIS in the middle or the elementary. We're already doing a lot of good things at the high school with PBIS, like painting parking spots and doing different things like that really fit and really drive up our morale of our kids, even our staff, by painting theirs. So we have a pretty good plan in place. The second goal, during the 22-23 school year, all of our 9 through 12 staff will monitor at-risk students and provide any needed interventions to achieve a 100% graduation rate. Interventions may include, but they're not limited to, identification of needed seals for individual students, provide intervention before state test retakes, and continue to perform student credit/requirement audits for graduation completion. It's a huge step for us to get the kids that we know that are at risk where they need to be for graduation. Again, I will say our school is very good at doing this because everybody is involved in this. Teachers, guidance counselor, principal, everybody, intervention specialists, community members, everybody's involved in getting our kids to where they need to be in order to be able to graduate and then go from wherever they are finishing graduation. What do they want to do? Work, military, career, college, whatever. So it's definitely a team effort. And our last goal is during the 22-23 school year, our staff will analyze data and collaborate with the county consultants to drive instruction and continue to strive towards the highest level of value added. We will meet consultants and go through the most recent data of individual scores, predicted scores, and look at restart readiness as a tool to assist all student growth. We met, first meeting we had with our county, November 4th. We had 3 teachers in the morning, 3 teachers in the afternoon, 2 math and English in the morning, and then 2 social studies, and 2 math, English, 2 social studies, and science in the afternoon. Went through all of their data of past students, the students they have in their class right now, the trends for those kids, and then Restart Readiness. I think all three of our buildings are using Restart Readiness. It's a program where it gives, with education now, with HQSD, Restart Readiness is a tool that our teachers can look at as a baseline of where kids are at baseline, teach a unit, and then kind of test and see what the kids got, what the kids did not understand, and kind of use it as a tool to try to, obviously for the high school, we're going to try and use that to drive our value-added numbers and try to get our value-added as high as we possibly can get our value-added. Thanks. I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving.
Mr. Dillon?
Good evening, everyone. Again, from the middle school as well, happy Thanksgiving to everybody and your families. I have a special guest in attendance tonight. This is Caitlin Dirk. We call her Kat. On October 27th, Kat was recognized by the Mahoning County Juvenile Court Community Advisory Board as a second place finisher in their 18th annual poster contest. Kat attended the award ceremony at the Butler Institute of American Art, which was hosted by Judge Teresa Delick and Commissioner Carol Rigetti. Certainly we want to congratulate Kat, but she is here to sort of share her poster maybe, and you want to tell the board sort of what was your motivation for your poster, Kat?
I wanted to do this poster because, like, all movies not going so good right now, let's just say. So, I did this to help, people that might not have the best mindset. So I put the 3 statements. One, you need to spread love and like it's always to your family and friends. Just be happy and stay positive. Help our planet by like recycling and you know, have like
Good job, Kat. I think the theme was she hasn't been taught by making the world a better place. So she was recognized with how many other? There were like 6 other students, I believe. It was a really nice time. So again, congratulations, Kat. Our 5th graders, they are doing the reading counts goals again. I don't know why I always subject myself to this torture, but again, they hit their first reading counts goal of 500 books. That only earned them extra recess. So for every 500 books they read, they will earn a reward as chosen by the students. And of course, if they hit the final goal of 5,000 books, yours truly will sleep on the roof of the school like I did. So let's hope they don't get there. Our 8th grade students have been working with Mr. Matus's 1st grade students. During study hall, our 8th grade students are going down and helping them read and create sentences based on their current learning. Mrs. Stafford says it's going wonderfully, and I think the 1st grade teachers and students are enjoying that as well. So she just wanted me to mention that that's what they're doing throughout the first semester. Mr. Rowan talked about PBIS. I will talk about PBIS as well. One of the initiatives of our PBIS committee is recognizing our students for both their in-school and out-of-school accomplishments. At the end of each month, each grade level will choose 2 students as Raider Spotlight students for their excellence in the classroom. The students receive a certificate, an ice cream treat, and their picture will be displayed on the bulletin board in the 1st floor hallway. You may have noticed that as you walked in this evening. Our Raider Spotlight students, we sort of combined September and October. So those students for September and October were Harley Booms, Peyton Papuga, Dennis Ganatis, Harlow Moorfield, Zach Huffnagel, Elena Thompson, Addie Sell, and Caden Nelson. So again, congratulations to those students for being our first Raider Spotlight students. Also PBIS related, on November 15th, nearly our entire student body attended the YSU men's basketball game. at YSU's Beagley Center. The game was a reward to the students who achieved a month-long grade level goal. Students, of course, enjoyed watching YSU cruise to a victory. They met Pete the Penguin. It is Pete, right? Pete the Penguin. And they interacted with some of the players. It was a fun time. I think a fun time was had by everyone. Cat, you went, right? You enjoy that? It was a nice time. Mr. Rowan mentioned, Mrs. Carlson asked that we share out our behavior or our building achievement team goals. We have 3 goals as well. First, we will implement the PBIS curriculum in order to address behavioral, social, and emotional issues by increasing engagement in class and decreasing referrals to the office by 10% each quarter. So we sort of did a little trial run during the first 9 weeks. What we're trying to do is just by implementing some positive behavior strategies in the classroom, we're hoping that the office referrals decrease. So we'll see where we stand after the second 9 weeks. Hopefully some of the things we're doing, they're working to improve behaviors. The second goal is teachers in all content areas will incorporate a literacy assignment once a quarter for the first 3 quarters. That's just to help improve our English language arts scores. I think our language arts teachers have recognized the need to read across all contents and write across all contents. So we want to help them out by implementing a goal so that all content areas will incorporate a literacy assignment. And then finally, SRMS teachers will work collaboratively. I need some language arts. So will work collaboratively in an attempt to improve the middle school progress measure by 1-star rating from last year to this year. So we have already brought in our community, or I'm sorry, our county liaisons. They're helping us take a look at our data. We implemented restart readiness like Mr. Rowan was talking about. We're really trying to, and we achieve like nobody. I mean, our achievement scores, state test scores are wonderful. We have to start addressing the target now, which is growth and progress with our students. So we're doing everything we can to help improve that rating from last year to this year. And then finally, PBIS, I talked to you about decreasing office referrals, certainly to increase recognition of in-class and out-of-class student successes. We're doing a number of fundraisers to help with an end-of-year reward for all the students. We did a pie the principal and teachers in the face. We did that at lunchtime with whipped cream pies. Tomorrow, they are duct taping the principal to the wall. So that will be great. We need a lot of tape. Mrs. Pettit was able to get Walmart to donate quite a bit of tape. And then we're doing a rock, paper, scissors tournament right before Christmas break. So do a lot of, say it again. Yeah, you do need a lot of tape. 4-foot strips just to get over the belt. All right. So thank you. Again, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Good evening, everyone. From the elementary, as they said, happy Thanksgiving to everyone and your families. Lots of events happening in the elementary over the last 2 months. First, going back to October, this was actually part of our PBIS this year for our students. We had on October 7th, the YSU head football coach, Doug Phillips, came to visit our boys and girls with 8 of his players. They visited for a team building assembly in the high school gym. He told them motivational stories. The players participated with our students in various teamwork activities down on the floor. They were here for about an hour. We had a question and answer session at the end. The team went up into the bleachers and Magic Moments was here to get a nice big picture for our yearbook with all the kids and the players. So it really was a nice time. I just want to thank Mary A., one of our intervention specialists. She organized the whole event. So that was a really nice afternoon for our boys and girls. Our 4th grade students attended Camp Fitch again, October 19th to the 21st. We had 87 4th grade students go. Mr. Rowan's always very generous. He sent 12 high school students along. The counselors were great this year. They participated with the boys and girls. They get into it, and they have a good time. Our teachers who were there, it's a lot of fun, but they're working, they're teaching. They teach things like the Lake Erie studies, the Nerdy Derby, where the boys and girls have to create race cars out of styrofoam and some other smaller wheels and wood, and they race. They do team building activities on the challenge course, ride horses, archery, get to hold the reptiles and amphibians. It's really a great time. So just thank you to the board for allowing us to continue to go there every year. The last week of October was Red Ribbon Week. So a big thank you to Mrs. Maynard, Officer Hartman, and our PTO. They all helped plan out the week this year. They decorated the school, did some different things this year. We had a theme every day. With boys and girls receive an item. We all dress a certain way, but the most important part, Officer Hartman, Mrs. Maynard get into the classrooms, and they really meet with the boys and girls just to talk about the benefits of living a healthy lifestyle. So again, thank you to everyone involved with that. Earlier this month, on November 3rd and 4th, Mrs. Spees and I had the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. to receive our Blue Ribbon Award. Again, a huge thank you to the board for allowing us to attend that. It really was a neat event. 297 schools there. I think we were one of like 65 schools, I think they said, who won the award twice, which was again, not just quite another big honor of being there. It's a really, really nice event. Really makes you feel good about what you do when you're at a really positive thing like that. So it was very, very nice event. I do want to talk about our PTO real quick. We have many committees this year for our PTO, probably more than ever. And one of the things they're doing this year is a student enrichment committee, which I think they tried to do before, and then COVID hit, we couldn't do a lot. But they're trying to provide more educational experiences for the boys and girls, whether bringing things in or sending our kids out. They, so far this year, were able to send all of our students K-4 to OWOW for some hands-on science learning and complete an activity based on their science standards. So that was great, completely funded by the PTO. Boys and girls had a great time there. November 12th was the PTO auction. We had about 200 people there, over 200 items with the live and the silent auction. Probably the best auction we've ever had, the most successful auction. They raised over $40,000 at the auction this year, which in my time here, we've never gone over 30,000, and this year they raised over 40. So I mean, that just, as Mr. Rowan was saying about a generous community. I mean, that's all the people, the South Range people who were there, just donating and knowing that every penny donated goes right back to the kids. So it's just I can't thank our PTO enough. It takes months and months and months to put on a good auction. It's hard to get help. People are very reluctant to help, and then they end up with a ton of help. So it's a great event, and we have the best community. So again, thank you to everyone. That then goes into our building achievement team and some of our goals. Just like the high school, middle school, we have a PBIS goal. This year in the elementary, we when we were talking about PBIS, our thought was let's not add one more thing. Let's continue to do what we're doing and enhance it and make it better. Last year, we started to implement PACS, and we wanted really the teachers to continue with PACS this year, get better at PACS, promote PACS more in the school. So we're continuing with the PACS voices, the school vision, and the teachers creating their classroom vision with their boys and girls. The things we're continuing are our student of the week, our rater of the month, our PACS leaders, just really recognizing students for doing the right thing and being good leaders or being PACS leaders. But then the other part of our focus for PACS this year was really about our staff and their health and their wellness, and trying to find ways to again keep our staff happy and healthy. One of the things that Mrs. Maynard has been doing is every other week the staff has an opportunity to order dinner, and it's at the school that they can pick up and take home that night. So it's at least one night a week that they don't have to cook, they don't have to worry about going out. That was something that the teachers said, hey, we would love it if one night a week dinner was provided for us. So they're ordering it. Not everybody has to do it, but Mrs. Maynard is really on top of that. That's been a nice thing. And then trying to get our staff together a little bit more. It's always been kind of hard in the elementary. A lot of our staff has always had young kids. Kind of hard to get people together. So just coming up with different ways outside of school to get together and spend a little time and just build those relationships in our elementary. So that's kind of our one big PBIS goal for this year. With our academic goals, we really have been focusing on growth, as Mr. Zolik was saying. Always been very high achieving. I think K-12, we could probably say that about our students. But we're really trying to dig a little deeper into our data to see, okay, how can we grow our students that seem to year, when you look at names of kids that are struggling, it seems like we always have the same ones. So why is that? What can we do to help those students grow? So looking at our different groups of students, one of our first goals was to increase the percentage of K-3 students who are considered on track to improve their literacy during the 22-23 school year by 10 percentage points. So this is every year looking at how they do in first grade compared to like fall of first grade to fall of second grade, and really looking to increase those numbers, because that's one of the things of how they're judging us now on the report card is by the growth of those students, not just the number of students who are achieving. Our second goal, looking at to increase the percentage of students who are proficient or higher during the 22-23 school year by 10 percentage points. This is mainly our students in third grade. We've noticed a bit of a decrease over the last couple of years, and I don't know if that has something to do with COVID. Does that have to do with changes in the Ohio State test? But we've kind of gone from usually being about in the 90s down to right around in the 80s. So we really want to get that number back up. So that's another big focus for us this year. Our third goal, again, for all of our students, mainly in fourth grade, looking at trying to move as many students as possible up a category. So if you're proficient, we want to move up to accomplished. If you're accomplished, we want to try to move you up to advanced. As many of those students as we can move up a category this year. So really working with the county. We had a meeting a couple weeks ago. Our consultants came in and started to dig a little bit deeper with our teachers. And we really just scratched the surface of that first meeting, but next month they're going to come in and really get into that data with our teachers to see, where our students struggling on the test, and how does that transfer back over into their instruction in the classroom. We are also doing the Restart Readiness. Mrs. Pettit came in, showed our teachers how to do it. They've already completed the first part of that assessment, and then we're going to come back in and really get into that data to see how our students are performing on that. And then our last goal was just that 100% of our teachers would be trained in the dyslexia training this year, and we're happy to say that those modules are finally coming out, and we will be putting a plan together and probably start that here in December or January. So that should be done probably through this summer, which puts us right on track where we should be for that. That's it for the elementary.
I do want to thank Mrs. Pettit. Last year we learned about readiness restart. Am I saying that right? The restart readiness. Basically, for those of you who don't know, it is aligned to the state test. It looks just like the state test, so the kids can take basically a sample state test online, and then teachers are given a score, but then there's benchmarks along the way, so that, like they said, they can work on a standard and they can go through it, and then they can take it again. So we have other programs we use, like Ames Web, but it's not directly aligned to the actual test. So we're investigating this year. Everybody's doing it. She's worked with all of them to see, does it align better with how our students actually perform on the test? Does it give better data to our teachers? At the moment, it's free this year, and I believe I'm read next year as well. So it could be what we use instead of the other tool, because sometimes you get that disconnect where a kid can perform really well on one of our other online assessments, benchmarking, and then they don't do it on the state test. But this may be a better alignment, so we're excited about that. So I do thank all of them, have kind of embraced it. I went to a couple rooms today. They were taking care of that once the internet kicked back on. So sleepy this morning. So I do want to thank you guys all for jumping on that, so we can at least experiment. It's best that it's just going all the way up through the high school, because we're getting that better data, not just pockets. Mr. Fair. Excuse our thank you for thank you. I didn't want to interrupt. Okay, thank you so much.
Before Kat leaves, I want to say, if there's anybody that's going to do this and work hard at it, it's her, because I have to chase her out of my kids all the time, because she wants to stay and stay and stay, and she's practicing stuff. if there's anybody that's gonna work at it and help it, it's her.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As everyone else said, I hope everyone has a relaxing weekend, good Thanksgiving. If you don't have anything to do, just give me a call and we'll find you something to do this weekend. I want to start out just by recapping our fall sports and our NE8 selections. Our volleyball team, they finished 4th this year in the league. Maria Primavera was our first team NE8 representative. Our boys golf team was the league champions. Michael Garwacki, our first team, and Jack Carey was second team. Our girls golf finished 3rd, and I can say it here because I'm not with anybody else. I think the way that they select the all conference is going to change next year. Our girls golf team, who, as all of you know, was a very late addition this year, and we had girls and you know, Mrs. Frank and her husband, they did a wonderful job this year of working with these girls and helping them improve. Our girls golf team finished 3rd in our league this year. And we had, you know, Bethany Whitmer that finished 3rd overall, and Chloe Poole was 6th overall. And because of the way they do selections, neither one of them were first or second team, and I do not agree with the way we do it. So at our spring conference this year, that will be brought up to see if we can get that changed. And I mean, the reason why they do it that way is one year Lakeview had a girl that could not participate in it. So they wanted to make sure she got on it because she was the Division II state champion. She would have been on it, so now they don't use, this is the only tournament that we have that they do not use that one-day tournament as determining your all-conference selection. So we're going to try to get that changed. But I do want to just say what a good job our girls golf team did this year, and, you know, acknowledge those two girls specifically for finishing top 6. You know, Bethany would have been first team if they do it that way, and Chloe would have been second team. Our boys soccer, they finished 3rd in the league this year. Logan Butcher was first team, and Ezra Stewart was the first team selection. Jack Staffeld and Caden McConnell were second team selections. Our girls soccer team finished 4th in the league this year. Sydney Pennick was a first team selection, and Juliana Kohler was a second team selection. Boys cross country, they finished 2nd in the league. Emmett Slabaugh and Charlie Regret was first team selections, and Max Fries and Cameron Ward were second team selections. The girls cross country team also finished 2nd in the league. Mia Wilson was a first team selection. Tara Wine and Emma Purden were second team selections. Our football team was the three-peat. I don't want to do any, what's that called? The infringement rights of taking that, but.
The Lakers.
What is it?
From the Lakers, you mean?
Yes, from the Lakers. I don't want to get sued for that, but we are 3-time back-to-backs league champions. First team selections were Shane Lindstrom, Chris Colucci, J.D. Krause, Bailey Ryan, Tyler Remish, Joey Plunkett. Second team selections were Aiden Leone, Jake Starkey, Gus Valentine, Logan Butcher, Nick Plunkett, and Billy Skirpak was the player of the year. It's also the second season in a row we've had the player of the year. I'll just recap here. Football team, as a couple of you mentioned, they're playing this Friday in the state semifinals against Liberty Center. That's in Clyde. Winter sports season starts tomorrow night. Our girls basketball team is traveling to Ashtabula Edgewood. Swimming will start next Wednesday, November 30th at the Hubbard Invitational. Boys basketball and wrestling, they are currently in limbo at this time because a football season, hopefully that will conclude in 2 weeks. So at this point, we have already moved one game. We are trying to move the second one. We made contact today. We're probably gonna cancel 4 boys basketball games. Wrestling may not go to their first wrestling tournament out in Elmwood or Eastwood. I'm trying to remember which one it is. Addison. Okay. Yes, yeah. They're all 3 right around each other too. Middle school boys and girls basketball starts their seasons on December 5th. Middle school wrestling opens their season up December 3rd. Just some things to add here. Tomorrow, from all the playoff games we hosted this year, we had our own boys soccer game. We had 2 district final soccer games. Saturday will be our 4th football game here this year. We are going to be putting down 170 tons of the blacktop grindings over there to take up more of the grass. So it's not the ideal, excuse me, it's not the ideal situation, but by putting those grindings down, at least people, if there is water, at least people can still park there. They don't have to worry about getting stuck. Last week's when we hosted the Jefferson Canton South game, there was probably 200 parking spots that people could not use over there just because, they could do it, but it was a safety precaution about how we don't pull people out, we don't push people out, and they would have to be towed out, and it's not worth it to have them spend their money when they're coming here. On Saturday, first time ever for South Range, we are going to host a Division 6 state semifinal football game between Fort Fry, which is down by Marietta, and an old nemesis is coming here to Kirtland. My personal feeling, I feel this is super exciting for the school, the community, that the OHSA looks at South Range with that much respect for our facilities, for our staff, to put a game of that magnitude here. So I'm very excited about that. I just want to express my gratitude to everyone who makes these events possible. From everybody in our press box, to our officials hosts, to our game hosts, to our ticket takers, to our custodial staff. Without them, we can't do it. And, if you guys would all like, I'll share an email with all of you. I think one of the reasons we did get this game is the Canton South game. The head official for the crew, he sent an email to myself and the state of Ohio saying what a tremendous job South Range did in taking care of any needs they had. And, that goes to everybody that works those games for us, and I really want to thank you guys. A couple of you are in here. Like I said, it takes everybody to make that work the right way. And, I have a good staff with me that takes care of that. So that's all. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mrs. Johnson? No. Mrs. Whiting? No.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that, all of it. Appreciate you taking, the whole board appreciate you taking the time out of your evening to come share that with us. You have so much to be proud of. We're so grateful. Makes our jobs up here much easier, having these things to deal with, getting to hear about all the good things. And I just can't thank you enough for all the hard work and time you put into it. So appreciate it. Can we move on to the agenda items?
We just have a couple things. You already heard about the 5-year forecast, so approval to adopt the 5-year forecast. We also have 2 invoices. Do you want to elaborate?
Just being new, it just changed the process, and just work on the staff on some changes, something in the process. So
Ms. Berkey found a new company for used CCP books that are no longer in circulation, or the universities don't need them, that she could resell them back to a new company. So we need approval for the book guide. And then approve the security film bid. We went out to bid for the first item on our security grant from the OFCC. So to approve Akron Glass Tinting for putting the security up. Once this is approved, we will get going. They basically said, 1 week, Dean, to get all the windows covered, then it sits for a little bit, and then they'll come back and do all the sealing around it to secure it into the window. So he's quite confident that in between some of our breaks, and he can work around kids, it's gonna start moving as soon as he gets the product in. And state student activity budget purpose statement, we did these last week, or last month, we just have two that we received to approve for the activity sheets. And that'd be it. Any questions on any of those?
I do, on the security film, what, is it just, there an image? So it's just tint?
We can do the tinting or we can do clear.
Correct.
I need to run by Niles. Niles
So this
schools did the
prevents you
tinted
from
one.
seeing in.
It also is bullet resistant. So the shattering and stuff, so it's kind of a double. It does not prevent you from seeing it. It stops the glass from shattering and it's much harder to get through the window. Niles City actually did the tinted one. Because we're only going up door height, I did talk to Dean. I kind of wanted to go make sure that it wasn't overly obvious because I didn't want to see a black band around the building. So we're not going all the way up. So we'll go see that. I'll reach out to Anne Marie things and just kind of verify before. If it's not too obvious, it does add an extra layer of protection from the sun too. So, but no, it's third bullet resistant. It's a 3M product.
Gotcha.
Are there any other questions on the agenda items? At this time, we'd have public participation. Anybody else would like to share again? This is your chance to pick up the boards. So we have nobody for agenda or non-agenda. Please.
Mrs. Lally invited me to go through the middle school and high school, since I don't know a lot of the teachers. As a former educator, floored. The students on task, teachers, best practice, small groups, whole groups, it was unbelievable. I was thoroughly impressed. And I've shared with so many community members, I'm like, you should see what's going on in this building. I was speechless. So I hope they come through again. I'm like, oh, it was just wonderful. Loved it. So tell the teachers and staff thank you. Even walking through the cafeteria, I mean, it was just wonderful. So tell the teachers thank you for letting us interrupt.
So for the first agenda item, we'll go back through and approve adoption of the initial 5-year financial forecast. Mr. Bureau covered. Motion to approve.
I'll motion.
Shelley moves.
I'll second.
Terry seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approve the 2 invoices.
So,
Amy moves.
I'll second.
Shelley seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approve the book guide for resale of books.
I'll motion.
Terry moves.
Second.
Liz seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approve the security film bid.
So moved.
Amy moves.
Second.
Liz seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approve the student activities budget and purpose statements.
I'll move.
Terry moves.
I'll second.
Amy seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Skipping executive, Ms. Need. Moving on to personnel.
Okay. Static to be able to add another substitute teacher and a few more substitute aides to our list. When we did that last push out, one call and supposed to be some community members that wanted to come in. And even if it's just a day or 2 a week, they're able to work and sub. So it's wonderful. We're able to kind of get some of that. So it really impacts the elementary. Usually when the aides are out, not having coverage, it's nice to have a few that are able to come in. Taylor Johnson, we approved her last board meeting, but I had November 1st. We actually started a new unit on October 31st, so for payroll. Also found 2 more night custodians. Unfortunately, as you all know, we lost one of our night custodians. So Levi Schlegel is going to return and Bryn Laws. They'll be itinerant custodial subs. So they'll be able to fill in up to 29 hours a week to help cover. So, to work with it. Home instruction, we have a student who, for medical reasons, needs a little bit of home instruction, which actually will take place either in one of the conference rooms or over at the board office, up to 10 hours a week to ensure the child's academics do not fall behind. And then a 1-year limited contract for Alexandria Simpkins. She's going to be the aide in that behavioral special ed unit. As Mr. Rowan said, one of their goals is to make sure everybody graduates. One of the things he mentioned was having to retake assessments. The state of Ohio requires that any student at the high school that retakes, they have to have some tutoring and intervention. So this is giving approval for reimbursement of Lauren Pevlansky, who's going to do that during some of her planning time, do some remediation, and she will also administer the test when it's time to do that. Supplemental positions, sometimes we don't always have 2 people for like soccer games. So one of the things is Paul Munson again is DJ entertainment, but also during tournaments and season, sometimes Paul is able to do the clock and the announcing at the same time. So that's the combined amount. And then approve Mr. Hannick and Mr. Munson as varsity baseball for Mr. Hannick and assistant baseball for Mr. Munson. Then as Mr. Farron said, he has a lot of helpers for these tournament games. So approve Dan Zolik, Steve Rome, Brock Miller, Don Farron, and Kai Tullis. They're part of his team that helps out during these tournament games when he is hosting. So those are the first ones.
Any questions? First section of personnel? Seeing as there's none, we could have a motion to approve those.
I'll motion.
Terry moves.
Second.
Amy seconds. Mr. Mayor, if you can call the roll, please.
Terry Lally,
Yes.
Amy White,
Yes.
Elizabeth Johnson,
Yes.
Shelley Calucci,
Yes.
Brian Bagwell.
Yes. And then for, I think the only other thing is the superintendent. Okay, so I'll go over that. The final thing for personnel is approve of the 3-year superintendent's employment contract for Mrs. Carlson beginning August 1st, 2023 through July 31st, 2026. Just want to say to the board, spent a lot of time reviewing and working with Mrs. Carlson, and we appreciate the patience and the diligence and her understanding of financial situations, and we appreciate all the hard work you put in. And I think it's safe to say that the district is in good hands, and we appreciate all the work that you've done. And just want to take this moment to approve the contract for the next 3 years. If there's any questions, I think we've covered them, but we can take a motion to approve that contract. Liz moves.
I'll second.
Amy seconds. Mr. Mayor, if you call the roll, please.
Elizabeth Johnson,
Yes.
Amy White,
Yes.
Terry Lally,
Yes.
Shelley Calucci,
Yes.
Brian Bagwell.
Yes. And before we adjourn, just like to reiterate, best of luck to the football team this week. Again, thank you for Dickey Electric and Myers and all the other people. I'm sure there's a lot of work trying to organize it as well, so just appreciate your concern and helping keep the kids safe, getting back and forth for such a long drive. So I hope everybody has a good little break for Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next month. Take a motion for adjournment.
I'll motion.
Terry moves.
I'll second.
Shelley seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
No. Unless you want to throw wood at me.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
See you Friday.
That's it, that stuff.
Yes.
Okay, break the door.
All of a sudden.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're all excited. Okay, now. Oh, that's a Friday.